If you are a man in a committed relationship and you want to have more sex or better sex, this is absolutely the episode for you. In today's podcast, I sit down with Keith Yackey from themarriedgame.com and we unpack the 5 fundamentals of what it takes to get the quantity and quality of sex you want in your relationship. What he calls when the trust goes up, the lust goes up. I love the one-liners he gives. I love the pointers he gives. He gives such valuable knowledge in this podcast that I'm literally going to get the transcription so that I can read through it. And that is very rare for me. I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to this entire episode because I want to make sure I'm hitting those 5 fundamentals of how to be the man that I want to be so that I can get the quantity and quality of sex that I want. Now, here's the key to this entire thing. And if you've been listening to me, you already know it comes down to you being who you authentically are. Period. End of story. That requires that you live with responsibility, integrity, discipline, courage, and compassion. If you can live with those values, then you will be on the path. That is the first and foremost. And we actually happen to have the exact same value sets for what it requires to be the man you want to be. And as he puts it, get the quantity and quality of sex you want. So you are going to love today's episode of The Unbreakable Man and, of course, enjoy the show. And before we dive into today's episode, I just want to say thank you for being a listener of this podcast. It's been a blast to produce this. Please go on iTunes or Spotify and hit the download button on this podcast. Hit the subscribe button so that you can get these episodes downloaded directly to you on a weekly basis when they launch. It has been incredible to produce this, and we've been seeing such great results from the guys that have been listening to our podcast. If you are looking to dive even deeper, then this is your opportunity to get into the next evolution of the Unbreakable Man experience. We just launched September dates coming up. So if you are looking to get into that, if you feel like you missed the window on the last one and you're ready to dive deep into your psyche and go to the next level, then go into the link in the description, click the link and register for the September dates coming out for the next live event that will transform your life so that you can show up as the man you want to be and lead a life you love. And as always, again, thank you for being a listener to this podcast and enjoy today's episode. What is up, beautiful humans? This is Dr. Dave Cahotis. I am on a mission to forge strong, heart-centered, and purpose-driven men. And this podcast is here to help you stop managing your problems and start breaking free of stress, limiting beliefs, and excuses that stop you from executing at your fullest potential, living with passion, and being the man you want to be. Let's go. Keith, what's going on, brother?
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm pumped to be on here, bro. What a fun adventure we're going to have.
Yeah, man. I'm like really pumped. Actually, I've been following you on Instagram here for a minute. I found you through a somatic release breathwork practitioner. So her and I, we facilitate the exact same somatic therapies. And that's how I found you. And I've been following your stuff and I've been just really digging it, man. What you got going on over at the Married Game. And I'm really excited to dive in. Let's kind of start with just your journey. Obviously, you started the Married Game. What got you into coaching men?
Kind of out of necessity, kind of by accident, kind of by desire. So I was coaching dudes like 12, 13 years ago, how to find and how to become a most attractive version of themselves if they wanted to have sex, like single guys. How do you attract a really hot date? And that came out of my journey of being married forever and then only having sex with one person. And then I got a divorce and I was like, well, dude, I want to go date the type of women that I've been jerking off to since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like I want to date hot women I want to know what that feels like. And so, I went on that whole journey and had sex with a few hundred women and a couple hundred women, not a few hundred, a couple hundred women. I want to be accurate. And I met my wife now, my Jessie. And I wasn't expecting. I didn't want to get remarried. I didn't think about, I just was having a blast. But this one, she really caught my heart.
Mm,
But basically 5.5, 6 years into our relationship where we were like, hey, we're going the distance. This is us. We're into this. We're going all the
yeah.
way. And she was like, yeah, we're not.
This is Jesse
And
said that.
this is yeah, my wife now.
Yeah.
Because she laughed. She basically said, Keith, I mean, imagine. I want the listeners here to just imagine for a second. You think things are going well.
Yeah.
I'm at a mastermind with my buddies, Dan Martell and Pete Vargas, and we're having a good old time. And I get a FaceTime from Jessie, and she goes, hey, can we talk? And I'm like, and instantly there's a pit in my stomach. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, yeah, we were about ready to move into our dream house. And she goes, hey, I'm going to help you move in, but I'm not staying.
Mm.
And if I'm being honest with you, Keith, my life would be better without you in it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, how fucking blind and delusional and stupid do I have to be that I just got done telling my buddies things are great, only to have my wife and then have since then realized that most women for a year or two are planning their exit.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I had to have been one blind, dumb motherfucker to not see that. So that's my story. And then I got her back.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's your point of separation, right? If we're going to go on the hero's journey, right? There's always separation, and then there is initiation after that. So what was it that got her back? Obviously, you go 6 years, and then it's like, boom, one day she gives you the FaceTime calls, like it's over. Number one, like, what are you experiencing in that moment? And then walk me through what you went through to get her back.
I'm probably going to take a week or two's worth of emotion and understanding and make it seem like it happened simultaneously, because that's how we often remember things in the past, right? And I speak exceedingly clear about it now. I have to let everybody know I was not this clear about it back then. I was a fumbling idiot in the dark.
Yeah.
But now I go, oh, I was doing this and I was doing that. It's like, wow, you really had a lot of awareness. No, I got the awareness now and I'm looking back. But there were some points in there when I was like, oh shit. Like, so when they were driving off, her and my 2-year-old daughter at the time, they were going to move from Vegas. They were going to go back to California where her family was. And I helped them. We moved into the dream house, and then I helped them load into their small U-Haul. And it was still, she was like, I don't know if I'm going to stay or if I'm going to leave. I'm going to stay. Cause I was begging her like, no, don't leave. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But eventually she's just like, no, I got to go do this for me. And honestly, mad kudos for her, because for her to say, I'm not settling. This is some bullshit. I've told you to rise. You didn't rise. And it was, we'll get into how low my standards were at that time.
Yep.
But it was, when she drove off, I was like, oh shit, this is my second divorce. I don't know if it was that moment or the next week or two, but I was like, fuck, I'm the problem. Oh shit, that also means I'm the solution.
Yes.
And that was actually the big aha. I was like, okay, if I'm the solution, what does that actually mean? She's no longer attracted to me. So, well, hold on a second. Would she be attracted to me if I tried to get attracted just to get her back? Because I was trying to get her back, and it was like only pushing her away. Because now it's like, oh no, but I promise I'm going to change. She's like, I've heard it before. Fuck you, dude. I'm out of here. I'm done. and then I had to realize, fuck, dude, I got to become the most attractive version of me for me.
Yeah.
And this has got to be about me for me, which means I had to, and I'm using very specific language now because this is the language we use. Yes. I don't know that I knew it back then. But the aha for me was I need to raise my standard, and I need to be the guy that just is that standard. I fell from grace in that moment because I realized I was the standard. For me to attract hundreds of the most beautiful women on the world to want to be with me and be vulnerable enough to be naked with me and to let out those sounds out of their mouth with me.
Yeah.
I knew what it meant to be the standard.
Yeah.
And I had fallen from it. And so it was almost like all this realization was happening in this very short amount of time. And I was like, fuck, dude, it's on me to become the best version of me. And I realized at that point I had one play. And it was this. I hired 3 coaches to try and get her back, because that's my style. If I need something, I'm hiring a coach, because they're going to help me not make all the stupid decisions that I know I'm going to. when I wanted these biceps, these ones right here that my best friend always makes fun of and talks about how big and bulky and beefy and beautiful they are, I went and hired a coach to learn how to build them.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I wanted to learn how to get online and build a business and make 7 figures or whatever, I fucking hired a coach to learn how to do it. When I wanted to go become a real estate guy and own hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of properties, I went and fucking hired a coach.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, all right, so the things that I'm actually excelling at, I hired a coach.
Yeah.
I need to get her back because the realization was, dude, I messed up. Like, I pushed the coolest woman, coolest human I've ever met totally away from me. And man, she actually loved me in a very deep and wonderful way. Wow. And so in hiring these coaches, the big punchline was this: if you want to move on, you got to move on.
Yeah.
And if you want to get her back, you got to move on.
Mm.
And for some reason, that equation left me not the greatest mathlete in the world. I was like, that's actually one play. That's only one fucking play. I'm an old
That's all I
football
got.
player.
I got the halfback sneak here, right?
Dude, exactly. I call it the halfback off tackle, dude. I'm just like, dude, student body left, student body right. I know that play.
Yeah.
And that's when I went all in and go, all right, fuck this. I'm going to become the best version of me for me. I'm going to become a person that can attract any woman at any time, any place. I want it to be her. But ultimately, I've got to be the guy that never takes his foot off the gas, who never drops his standard, who never does these things. And dude, it was a culmination of so many things that led us to then starting Married Game and helping guys. But that's the genesis of it all.
I love that, man. And like, I mean, you hit some main points here, and I think this is so vital for anyone listening. It's really like the first thing you did, regardless, and it doesn't matter if it's in marriage, if it's in business, if it's in your health, you have to recognize that you are both the cause and the solution to your problem. Like, that is first and foremost. You cannot move forward until you take responsibility. And when you do, that's like, oh shit, like, I got to look at all the creepy dark parts of me, and I got to fucking deal with this. And you got to move through, and I call it the emotional charge. You got to move through the shadow and all the shit and all the things that you've been running from, and you got to reckon with that. And you did the second thing, which I was kind of listening to your play, right? You got one play, and that's like, let go. Like, you got to let go. Like, there's no grip in this thing. You got to completely let go. And when you do, you actually identify that you find yourself, you become the version of yourself that you're fulfilled with, and then you become an attractive human. I don't want to give away punchlines, but that's just the natural, that like, you become magnetic. Like, people want to be around you when you are a whole sovereign being, and they just are attracted to that energy. It's a vibration. We can get into the quantum physics of it. I love the woo-woo side of things too, but it's
Me too, bro.
Yeah, man. It's like, you know, when you become who you want to be, it's like the universe just like gives it to you. As you're mentioning, it was like you were able to attract and be with as many women as you were, and then you found your wife, you fall madly in love, you say, okay, this is the one, I want to be with this one. You make the choice, and then, you know, and this happens to most men, like, we start to coast. We don't recognize it. We just like, oh, this is good, this is comfy. And it's like, you take things for granted. And I'll raise my hand and say, I've done that absolutely in my life. I've coasted. You know, and we go through rhythm, we go through seasons, but you know, when you recognize, like, okay, I can get back on my horse and I can do these actions. And like you're mentioning, hiring a coach, I love it. So walk me through the fundamentals, right?
Hey, real quick, you said something there I want to jump on. Is it okay before we leave it?
Please do. Yeah,
okay,
please do.
dude, because this is perfect.
Yeah.
You talk about seasons of up and down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a season. I want to paint it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to paint it and see if you recognize it, or if you think your guys recognize it, or the 17 million people watching this after we release this recognize this.
I love it.
You ready?
I love it. Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Oh shit, my wife is mad. I realize, fuck, I should have been doing this, and that. Damn it. And then we start doing it again. We're like, dude, we're fucking doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh shit, my wife is, dude, I told myself I wasn't going to do that again. Okay, if she just gives me one more fucking time, I'm never slipping again. Hand to the camera. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, man.
Right? Fuck. So
absolutely,
that thing right there.
Yeah.
Is what tires women out so much that makes them go, this is never going to fucking permanently change. And it's that point when they finally, a lot of women are usually financially tied to their husband in our culture, which I think is a beautiful fucking thing in terms of homemakers and that type of stuff. But it makes them not feel as if they can just, hey, fuck you, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And so most guys fall into that, I hope I have one more chance, and then they do a little bit better. That is actually, I just recognized that in the last little bit here, month or so, after having taught a lot of dudes this, that's actually the problem I'm trying to solve.
Yeah.
That loop is the problem I'm trying to solve, because if a guy knew how to no longer fall asleep and hit the rumble strip on the side of the road and wake the fuck up again, he would not find himself in a relationship where where 85% of guys are, they say that they're not happy with the quantity or quality of their marriage.
Yeah.
And most guys think that's a season. Oh, it's just season. No, you're doing that.
Yeah.
I recognize I was doing that. So I'm like, how do I stop this bullshit? And the way I had to do it was put a metric to it and make sure I was scoring myself every single day, so I could at least have a visual and going, hey, motherfucker, Mayday, the fucking plane's going down, but the plane's going down. Are you going to do anything about this? So that's actually this problem I solved, and why I created kind of the gamification of it with some help of my friends who are way smarter than me.
Yeah, no, I love that. And in fact, that's literally step one. Anytime a guy comes through my program, it's like, what do you want? And then they'll tell me all the reasons, like all the things they don't want. And I'm like, no. What do you want? And like, tell me what you want. And if you can't identify exactly where you're going, like we're dead in the water. There's like, you're just drifting without a rudder or a sail up. And so the fact that you gamify it, in fact, part of I call it my daily dial. Part of my daily dial is one-on-one connection time. This is I have both non-romantic and romantic connection time on my daily dial with my wife. And so what I literally will do is I have identified ways in which physiologically I create connection and love for me and for her. And we've had these conversations over the course of many, many months, years, etc. We've identified it's eye contact. This is for me, right? Eye contact, touch, and breath. Those three things create connection, right? Those are like non-romantic connection points. So if I'm doing one of those things, and this is minimum, bare minimum, I'm talking like, when all else fails, am I at least showing up and doing that? And when I started actually tracking this and identifying like this is it, like I actually started getting results. I started getting and I was like, oh, now I can
well,
upload.
shit.
Yeah, right.
None of us are surprised, right?
Yeah, I know. which is dope. I love that. I love that you add metrics in and like okay, so I don't want to run away from the pattern, because this is something that's super important too, because when somebody identifies a pattern, and we were talking about rhythm and cycles, what they are essentially running from, it's like you get into this comfort zone and you get in this play of like the coast. You're kind of like, oh, I'm just kind of going through the motions, like everything's hunky dory, the fear and the pain is not there. And then your wife gets pissed for whatever reason, she shuts down, whether physically, psychologically, or just emotionally, and she denies you and just is not, like you were mentioning, is not attracted. What would you tell a guy in those moments, right? Like to break through, what would you say? Like, how do I identify, and what does he need to do to like break out of that cycle?
Okay, so I think there's three things going here. And bro, your awareness of this, I think, is super keen. Maybe one of the most keen that I've ever been on any show.
Thank you.
And I come from a stand-up comedian world. I was not a stand-up comedian. I did about 200 shows, and I was never the worst comedian, and sometimes I was the best comedian. But I revere the craft of stand-up comedy so much that a guy who's done 200 shows does not really get to call himself a stand-up comedian. So I want you to understand that that's the context, and I really revere stand-up comedians. And I've been able to perform with some of the greats, actually, but they're the real people.
The real deal, yeah.
But what I love about stand-up comedy, and I performed like 3 or 4 times a night on the Strip in Las Vegas for like 3 or 4 or 5 months. And she's a late night mistress, dude. I was getting home like at 1. I'm like, fuck this, dude. I like getting up at 4 and going attacking the day.
Yeah.
So what I loved about it is I would have the same jokes. We have our bits.
Yeah.
and we go out, but every show's different because it's a different crowd. And so they react different. And there's Susie with the purple blouse in the front chair that says something when she's drunk that cracks the whole room open. And then we riff for 10 minutes, and everyone in that room is like, this is off script.
Yeah.
This is being created right now. Oh my God, the story I'm going to be able to tell my friends. That feeling is so fucking cool that it will make somebody who says, I saw this comedian in LA, but I'll drive down to Orange County to see him, the next night, or when he's coming back, I can't wait to see his new stuff. And so I've always taken that into any of these interviews. Every single time I'm like, there's got to be a new story. There's got to be a new angle. There's got to be a new piece. And I just want you to know, like, almost this whole beginning part we haven't talked about this with anybody ever. So, but I feel I'm vibing off of your energy, and I think it's fucking cool, man.
Thank you, brother.
So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Here's the three things. You hit it. What's the woman's point of view?
Yeah.
What is this creating in her? She's going, I can't trust this motherfucker. And if I can't, we always say when the trust goes down, the lust goes down.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
that's a Keith Yackey original. And it works the other way too. When you start to do what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it without fault, when the trust goes up, the lust goes up. Because when a man who does what he says he's going to do, when he says he's going to do it without fault, is a man that walks in tremendously deep personal power. It's the only way to actually get personal power is by doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it without fault. And then she goes, oh, motherfucker, he lives by extremely high standards. So it looks like, and I just want the guys to see this so that way when I tell them what the answer is, they actually understand. I know they understand the problem on their side. Their wife isn't affectionate. They're not getting their dick sucked. They're not having the time that they really want to have. I understand that.
Yeah.
But let's see what's the problem on her end. She goes, this motherfucker said he was going to grow his business and he didn't. This motherfucker said he was going to start a business and he didn't. This motherfucker said he was going to hang a painting on the wall and he didn't. This motherfucker said he was going to pick up our daughter and he forgot. And oh my God, this motherfucker doesn't do jack shit what he says he's going to do. And that he wants me to just be like, oh, dude, I'm so excited. Let me spread him so you can get a head change. Let's go. Doesn't happen.
Right.
So from her perspective, you get me fired up over here. I'm getting all fucking fired up.
Let's get fired up, bro.
From her perspective, there's a deep amount of resentment.
Absolutely.
That says this motherfucker can't even pick up milk from the store. How simple is that?
Yeah.
So how does he fix it? Well, my system that I create is 5 dials every single day. We call it the 5 dial system. And it's the 5 dials. When these are dialed up, you become a provocateur. A man who provokes his woman to lust after him. A man who provokes his wife to go, like my wife just said in that chair over there to 30 of my buddies who come and hang out with me all the time in my Ascend Brotherhood. And she said, I could never be with anybody after Keith. This motherfucker shows up. He does his word. She goes, I got to keep my word all the time because I know that he keeps his word all the time. She tried to not play a song in the car one time for my daughter when she said she would. And we were like a minute away from home. She goes, dude, we're just a minute away. I said, that's your word. And she goes, fuck, dude. So she hits the play and she knows. So how do you have influence and leadership to be able to switch a situation is you have to rise to such a standard that people go, we respect that motherfucker because he does everything he says. So I broke it down to 5 dials to simply be able to know where am I standing at and what is she actually judging me on? What is causing her to attract towards me or to repel away? Attraction isn't just, damn, you look good in those jeans. It's, do I even like hanging around this guy? And the telltale sign is if whether your wife likes hanging around you or not is how many times does she roll her eyes when you talk?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, here he goes with his fucking big story again that he never does. This guy's a fucking idiot. Oh, tell him about how great you were in high school, huffy. and then these guys, they're so frustrated. They're like, I just want my wife to want me. It's like, bro, have you seen yourself? Have you heard yourself talk? Who would want to be around? I'm kind of barely not even your friend anymore because I can't stand being around you.
Yeah. Yeah,
So let alone let a piece of your body insert into my body. Fuck that.
absolutely.
So anyhow, that's the answer is the 5 dials. We can dial in, but I want to take a breath and let you do your thing and be your awesome self.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're like, you're hitting it. I love the dials too, because like we call it the daily dial for us, on our end. It's
Yeah.
like, when you're moving in the right direction, you're dialing it in. One of the things that I speak about when I'm talking, and here's the thing, like I like to think of myself as a generalist.
Okay.
I love to dabble. There's another word, like I've heard the term polymath. I just love fucking learning. I love learning about like every subject I can get my hands on. I just like I can't stop. So, I have a general view of relationships, and from my perspective, understanding the masculine feminine dynamic. And when I say masculine feminine, I'm talking about just energies, archetypes, understanding how to create polarity, magnetism, attraction
Yeah.
between the two. And you hit it nail on the head, man. Like with integrity, it's, I tell the guys, it's like if you have these three things, one of which is responsibility already hit, you have discipline, meaning you're going to go out there and you're going to actually do it. And you live by your word, you live in integrity with who you truly are, which
Yeah.
also means like if you want to start a business, like let's say you're an accountant and you want to go be an actor, go be a fucking actor. Like you can't not do that, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to go pursue that, as scary as it is. The more you push yourself away from that, the more your soul dies. And you
Yeah.
like, if I have a job on this planet, it's the reason I started the Unbreakable Man. Prior to this, I was in the bodywork world. I was a chiropractor. I'm a, like have this kind of holistic performance side of things. And I was just dead inside. And I'm like, what is it? Like if I could just do anything. And it was just, it hit me. I was like, I would coach men. I'm like, what? Like this like answer came to me and I'm like, why? What? Like I want to do what?
Mm.
And it took me, even then, when you get the call, it still took me like 6 years to actually
Yeah.
do it. But
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
finally like started to do it. And all the while, again, like learning and all these things. But I love what you hit, man. Like the integrity, you have to live by your word. If you don't live by your word, then no one can trust you. And
Yeah.
not just, your wife or your girlfriend. It's you can't
Yeah.
trust yourself. And
Yeah.
what's that relationship and your connection to self? Obviously getting the job done, which is the discipline part. So let's talk about the 5 dials, man. I love it. So let's kind of like maybe just like give me the five and then we'll break them down individually.
Perfect. Yeah, the 5 dials are simple. And like these are if you dial this up, this is where your wife goes, "Oh my God, he's so attractive. I want to hump him." Right?
Yeah.
So she's looking at you and asking if you're a good parent is dial number one.
And what if you don't have kids?
Then this dial does not apply.
Okay.
But being
Okay.
a good uncle and dog or cat dad could kind of apply.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The second one is the partner dial. I call it almost like the best friend dial.
Yep.
The third one is the producer dial. Are you going to build anything? Are you have any ambition to build shit? That type of dial.
Yeah.
Number four is the player dial.
Okay.
The player dial. And number five is the power dial.
Okay.
So those are the 5 dials that if any dude takes any of those dials and even takes it a notch or two up in the right direction, he's going to have somebody go, "Who the fuck are you, dude? What you do with the
Yeah.
old?" Yeah.
I love this for a number of reasons. Each one of these can be considered an archetype. I love Jungian psychology. If I have like a lineage, I would consider myself like a Jungian analyst of anything. And I love like what you're saying, even with the parent, the father archetype is it's a create safe space. Can you create safe space for your family, for your children, for your nieces and nephews, for your dogs? I love that. Walk me through, man. Like what is each one of those? Like if there's an essence to those for you, like what does that look like?
So first and foremost, when I talk about the parenting dial, I need to quote my wife and let the world know that she said, "You are such a bad dad with our first child. I do not want to have a second one with you."
That's gotta really really feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's not the fucking Father's Day card I was hoping for, but it's the one I got. That
Oh
was
man,
6
I love
years
it.
ago.
Oh, I
Uh,
love it.
she didn't even
Mm.
wanna leave for, like, ladies' night out or go out. She's like, "You're such a horrible dad."
Yeah.
And now She's been gone for 9 days. When her brother passed about a little over a year ago, she was gone for 9 days with him in the hospital before he passed. She's like, I didn't worry one time about our daughter with you.
Yeah.
So like there was a big swing in that. And so that, and a lot of guys are like, when I say, you know, your wife will always love your kids more than they love you, get a little bit of pushback on that. They're like, no, dude, wives and husbands first. I go, okay, I understand what you want it to be, but let me prove to you right now, unequivocally, why it will never be that way. Here's how I know. Moms don't divorce kids. Moms divorce dads.
Truth.
So you better well fucking just know what the rules are. Don't show up to a basketball game with baseball cleats and wonder why you're going to suck ass.
Yep.
Now you know.
Yeah.
So I was a bad parent, as I show, and it's that's her job, dude. That a woman births a kid and makes sure they survive and thrive. It is in their DNA as much as anything.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about these dials, some guys are like the first 3 guys are pretty much nailing. I'm a good parent. Most guys aren't that great of a partner. They say they are, but I'll show you here in a second that probably not.
Yeah.
And then the producer, it's wired in us in the producer now to go out and kill the buffalo. We want to bring back pelts and steaks and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's normally the dial 4 and dial 5 where it starts to get a little like guys are like, oh, fuck that. Yeah, I definitely took my foot off the gas there. But that's the parenting dial to kind of set it up. I had to create a standard. For my standards, I have to spend at least 30 minutes alone with my daughter, one-on-one, talking with her, engaging with her, being at a practice, something where she knows every single day this beautiful masculine man who loves her more than anything on planet Earth is there to help give her both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
We have a famous saying in our family, like, Jovi doesn't have 2 moms. Jovi doesn't have 2 moms. And my friends, a lot of my friends ask me for parenting advice because if you're my friend, your kid's probably calling me Uncle Keith. It's just kind of how it is. And they see how I interact with their kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, how did you get my daughter to be able to say that? I go, because when you set up this. So I've actually got my best parenting advice. Let me give it to, let's just give it to the gang.
Yeah, sure.
Ready?
Yeah.
Quit asking them to do stuff you want to do and go start doing shit that they want to do, regardless of the age.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that. I really love that, man.
I happen to luck out, and my almost 9-year-old daughter likes playing Mortal Kombat. I'm like, dude, she just showed it to me 2 weeks ago. I'm like, I have not played this game since I was a kid. You are going down, dude. And then she's jumping up and down the couch, and she's jumping on me. She's like, oh, I got, so I'm like, this is the greatest dad moment of all time.
I love that, man. And like you even hit like nail on the head too with the standard. It's like you have to at least have some type of standard, a metric, so that you know you're getting the job done. I personally have 3 kids. I do my best to have 60 minutes of family time every day. And then within that, at least, then again, it's like with 3 kids, it's a little bit difficult to do this, but like have 15 minutes of like one-on-one time. But for instance, last night, my youngest, he's 2, and he's like, Daddy, wrestle. I was like, let's go. And we have a bunch of mats up in the loft. I'm like, all right, buddy, come on. And I have 2 sons. And so it becomes a huge wrestling match. They're screaming and giggling, and I'm playing Blanket Monster, and it's awesome, man. It's so much fun.
The best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
So much fun.
And your wife's over there going, wow. Oh, I got to say this too, man. Do we have any time constraints on this? I don't know, because I don't want to. Okay, cool. I've got one, but it's not for a little while. Most guys, if they've made it this far in the journey, let's make it really abundantly clear. If they're sitting here in the pit, they're not loving the quantity of sex that they're getting or the quality of sex that they're getting, that usually shows up 3 things. Their wives stop initiating sex. Yep. Their wives stop enthusiastically participating in the act of sex. Yep. And their wife seems to be more interested in the spreadsheets than she does the bed sheets, which means he feels like a walking fucking paycheck. Yeah. All right. Guys are in usually one of those kind of things, like, man, and they don't even know how to get more. They don't know why they used to get laid once or twice a week when they first got married. Now 7 years later, it's like once a month, and like, what the fuck? And even at that, she's just laying there like a starfish. So I specifically talk and teach guys because I know the fruit is sex. Yeah. But I know the fruit of a relationship is the sex. The root of everything else is what we're talking about. And so it's like, become a great root. Do this for you, and it will just naturally come. Mm-hmm. No pun intended. But here's the thing. A lot of guys mess this up. and they'll lean in. They've heard other people try and help them get their wife to be more into them sexually. And it's like, do more around the house, say yes more, buy her gifts, happy wife, happy life type stuff. And it's like, no, no, no. The reason why that shit doesn't work, and most guys have tried it,
Yeah.
is because they have what we call taker energy. They're doing it just to get that thing.
Yes.
They're not doing it because that's what their standard is. And a woman can smell that shit from a mile away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The guy's banging the dishes a little louder just so he knows, he knows that, oh, you know, like that stupid meme, there's nothing hotter than a man, you know, washing dishes. It's like, unless he's a pouty little bitch doing it to try and get something, and he's a little fucking simp.
Yeah, no, I fully agree, man. It's like that approval seeking mentality. And I'll raise my hand and say I was doing that in my business for a long time. I was doing things thinking that my customers or like potential customers or the market was going to give me more. And I'm like, I got to make it this way and this way. But underneath all of that was this deep sense of not good enough. I just was never like psychologically good enough until I went to the depths of my being to uncover that. I realized, oh, I had the exact same taker energy when I showed up. And then I would come back and if there was any one dial I was very low in, which is the producer dial. And I'd be like, oh, I gotta work harder. And I'd be working weekends, but I still wasn't producing. It'd be like this perpetual cycle that I finally like, oh, that's what I was doing. So I very much understand when a guy gets into those cycles, right? He's like falling into his old pattern of the thing he's most afraid of, which could be not good enough, not lovable, not wanted, not safe, etc.
Dude, thank you. You just helped me unlock something really deep right now.
Oh, bro, I got more.
It was really, because all my principles about married game are, this is your standard, and you want to create this situation where your wife is like, I'm so fucking lucky to be with this guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy who gets the skin sucked off his dick. That's the guy whose wife is clamoring all over him. That's the wife who is just like, I gotta be touching him. And I go, and you just reverse it. Like, what if I thought that same way in my business? And what's interesting is we did shift our entire energy in our business about 60 days ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that was the frame that was happening. I did say, man, I got to create a better culture here. I got to be more of a giver. I got to blah, 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 blah. But now I just realized the place is just on fucking fire right now. Like the community is just going nuts, and people are learning, and I'm having the most fun I've ever fucking had in business. And you're right. It's because I literally took the married game ethos of I'm giving because it's my standard, and I'm not giving to get sex.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome, man. I mean, like it shows up. I mean, I love what you're doing with the 5 dials. It shows up. Those archetypes show up, whether it's your business, it's your health, it's your connection to others, your social well-being. I see these, and these are the sort of the nuances that I teach the guys that come through our program too. It's like you have a series of archetypes that are inside of you psychologically that are just itching to come out. If you do not embrace, and these are masculine archetypes, if you do not embrace these archetypes, you will fall flat on your face. You'll just keep running from yourself. And so we do a lot of shadow work on our end and helping guys identify what their primal needs are, et cetera. But we all are trying to fill this void with it. And it could be, again, it could be like, am I loved? Am I wanted? Am I safe? Am I good enough? And there's like multiples of those. But if you're trying to act out of I'm not good enough, trying to fill that void, you'll just keep falling on your face, kind of going back to the cycle of like, oh, well, the sex started to dwindle and I'm not getting the intimacy and I'm not having that deep connected sex that I want. What's going on? I'm going to go do the dishes more. I'll raise my hand and say, that's how I showed up. I would be more at home. And yet I'd be more involved with the kids. And my wife is like, bro, where's the paycheck? And I'm like, oh, okay.
And you're like, I can never win with you. And it's like, no, dude, you can never win because you're fake.
Yeah. 100%. And it's very hard. And I will say this, man, like it's hard to admit that to yourself, but the second you do, you can actually do something about it. Like you have to tell the fucking truth. That is the line that I say, tell the fucking truth. Like when you do that, you can go in the direction. We can work with the emotions of it, and all the shame and all the guilt and the grief and the hurt, but we got to tell the truth. Yeah, 100%.
All right, so that's the parenting dial.
Okay. We're going deep today, bro. I love this.
it,
Let's
dude.
let's talk about partner dial.
Partner dial is his best friend dial. It's like, does your wife there's two people your wife talks to more than anybody. And it can be either her mom and her sister or her mom and her best friend, depending on who's alive and if they're estranged, blah, blah, blah. And they'll talk about, if you have the privilege and pleasure of overhearing your wife talk to her best friend or her mom or her sister, you will realize they talk about fucking nothing. But to us, it is everything to them, and the nuance and the detail and the emotion and the I don't know and what do you think and all the shit. And you start to understand that this female brain is a little different, because me and my best friends, we tell the truth. We're like, dude, that shirt's too tight. What are you doing with that? Come on, man. Knock that shit off. You know better. Like, come on. You're not going out with us like that. What are you fucking doing, bro? Like, my best friends, we have very fucking high standards.
Yeah.
How we are going to show up to a thing, how attitude, mentality, how we talk to each other. We're all about become my best or nothing at all, like that. And we are allowed to, and we all give each other permission to speak in such a way. Hey, I heard your speech the other day. Consider changing this, this, and this. I think it will make it more powerful. Oh, fuck, dude, good idea.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, Taylor Welch. I don't know if you know him.
I don't.
But he heard one of my speeches. I was in Tennessee, so he drove over to watch me do it. And he's like, okay, that was fucking amazing. Now, here's how I think you can make the ending better. And I was like, I leaned in instantly. Oh, well, tell me more. And he goes, yeah, do this. And he goes, then you can. I'm like, oh, that's fucking brilliant, dude. That's not how my wife and I talk with each other. She doesn't come in and go, hey, what do you think that's outfit? No, it's too tight. That's fucking ain't gonna work. And like, he doesn't do that. That's not typical. Men are very overt in our conversation. Women are very covert in their conversation. And most women don't know why they're not having sex with their husband is I'm not attracted to him anymore. Women will say that once they hear it, but it's very rare that a woman will go, I'm just not attracted to him. What do they say? I love you, but I'm not in love with you. You know, it's that kind of language. I just don't feel it anymore. And my wife and I, our hypotheses and our reality is that we believe that honeymoon sex is for the minor leaguers, and that sex should get better the longer you're together. Yeah, because that's what we're literally like. I don't know, like 3 weeks ago, I go, bro, that was a top 3. I don't call her bro, but I'm talking to you. I was like, maybe I probably said yo. I do call her dude sometimes. She goes, I call my wife dude sometimes too. I go, dude, you got to listen to this. She's like, really? I'm like, my bad. Yo, lady, my love, my girl. How to have more sex with your wife. Don't call her dude. Exactly. So I was like, that was top 3 Billboard performance. She's taken up all top 10 performers. Like, she is top 10. Like, all my top 10 sexual experiences have been with her. Yeah. And I've been with a lot of women in a lot of very interesting situations. And she knows, because it gets better and better. And because we're more connected, our souls like just blend together now. It's just fucking amazing. And I could only wish a guy. I mean, I was the back of the pack. Jesse didn't want to have sex with me. Jesse fucking left me. And now she's like giving me blowjobs in the fucking back of the Escalade as we're going home, or like she's like, pull over. I got fuck me in the back. Like, I got the greatest fucking coolest sex life ever with my wife. Yep. And my wife's beautiful. Like, I had sex with her this morning. I'm like, you need some birthday booty, don't you? She goes, I do. I'm like, get over here. Come on, let's go. Let's have some fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but that's what every guy wants, but they got to understand there is a way to get it, but you got to become the guy that deserves it. And so this best friend dial is almost like she feels so safe. She can say anything with you. And a lot of guys are like, my wife's my best friend. I go, would you sit in a bar and tell her that you think that girl across the bar is really super fucking hot? Like, well, I'd never say that. I go, okay, cool. My wife talks to me like that. She's like, man, that chick's my best friends and I, like, they hang out with Jesse and I a lot. Jesse's kind of one of the guys, even though she doesn't look like a guy, but she understands how we think. She's just really cool. And sometimes my best friends are like, I can't believe, hey, there's a wolf. Jesus, Keith. Like they'll be like, is this foreplay for you guys? We're like, yeah, we're having a little fun. But we'll be talking shit. She'll be like, oh, is that your, like, if we're at a party, whatever, and some girl's like nice to me, it's like, oh, you're gonna go talk to your girlfriend? Like just like funny, playful stuff that we do that you would do with your guy friends and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I think that chick's into you. I don't know. You think
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
And it's just so that but I've earned that because
Yeah.
we're best friends.
Mm-hmm.
I can be honest with her to a point in the sense of she knows how to get the truth about what's really going on in a situation in her girl way. And I understand how to, it's like, what do you think? Is this one or this one? Like, well, this one, like, it looks like it's more built for you. It's like, oh, okay, I
Yeah.
got it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I've come, the best friend dial is I'm not just listening to her at the kitchen counter and going, oh, well, I have 17 minutes, dude. I might get lucky tonight.
Yeah.
It's
That's taker
actually being,
energy.
yeah, it take her energy, but give her energy. It's like, well, then what happened next? Tell me more.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy necessarily some of the conversations Jesse is like dying to tell me
Yeah.
because it's just girl shit. It's like, oh, your mom did that, my sister did that. I'm like, oh wow, you know what I mean? Like honestly, it's not like I wouldn't sign up for top 20 conversations. I'd probably pick a lot different ones, but it's important to her. So
Yes.
guess what? She's going to get the best fucking Keith Yackey that's ever showed up for anybody ever. And I'm going to listen like, well, what happened next? Well, tell me, what did you think? How did that make you feel? Oh, that's interesting. So she doesn't know that I'm not that interested. I mean, she does know, like, this isn't a topic he talks about with his guys.
Yep.
But she knows that one of my principles, if it's important to her, it's important to me. And I'm actually going to really lean in.
Yeah.
And that's where we come the concept. Like Jesse was like, dude, I feel like a walking vagina, man. Like all you care about is just having sex with me. And that's where I came up with the concept. You need to love the whole of her, not just the hole in her.
Yeah.
And being her best friend,
it's a good one.
yeah, being her best friend shows her that, like listening. Let me hear what's going on. What did he say? And like actually taking a fucking care. Most guys don't know what her favorite food is, favorite band, where she would go if she had a round trip ticket anywhere for herself. Most guys have no idea where their wife would go.
Yeah. Yep.
So a woman can tell if you're actually listening to listen, if you're listening to fucking get something.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, really what you're iterating here is you are creating, I call it big king energy, where you are creating such safe space. And that was kind of between both, right? Both like parent and now partner. You are creating such safe space that she can be all of her. She can be authentically her because you are showing up. And I'll give you some kudos back too, man. It's like you're showing up and you are authentically Keith. No fucks given. Be who you want to be. And there's no apologies necessary because you're living in alignment with your truth. You know how big your heart is. And by knowing how big your heart is, how much compassion you have for your wife, for your kids, for the world, for the men that you support, you can show up unapologetically as yourself. And that's something that I personally had to go through myself too. It's like when we're people pleasing, when we're approval seeking, when we're like, well, do you want to, do you just want to, hey, think about maybe having sex? And like, like you kind of come from that old energy. Nobody wants to have sex with that, right?
No.
You got to be able to express yourself, right? Like let go of all the past and the resent and all the bullshit you're carrying. And yeah, it does take some time. Like sometimes like you were saying, hire a coach, go through a retreat process. Like that's what we offer is like, go through a 3-day program with us. And like, they're going to be like, your entire world will change in 3 days because you've actually connected to who you are as a man. And now you can show up as your king self, creating safe space and harmony for your partner so that she can be like, who, like in the beginning, she's always like, who the fuck are you? Like, I don't even, what? It's almost like awkward, but that's it, man. I love that.
Yeah. And what most guys don't understand is when you start showing up this way, especially when you start dialing everything up.
Yeah.
She's going to be skeptical at first.
Yes.
And most guys are like, no, they try and argue. It's different this time. Hey, just fucking show her over the next 90 days.
Yes.
And guess what? Her testing you is normal.
Yeah.
Because people test what they want to trust.
Ooh, I like that. People test what they want to trust. Ooh.
So if you sit down in this chair and I fall, or if you fall, and I come up and I put it back together and I go, and I put a few pieces of duct tape on it. I'm like, it's good now. You 100% are going to be pushing on that chair, testing it before you sit down on it again.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. The fact that your wife is testing you. Oh, really? You think you're actually going to go to the gym and actually keep with it this time? Most guys are like, that hurts. And it's like, hey, fuck her. She's actually rooting for you, dum dum. But she doesn't know how to motivate you because every time else you said you were going to go to the gym and fucking lose your dad bod. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
No woman wants to fuck a dad bod. That is a myth that women who are out of shape came up with so that they don't feel bad about a man who's in better shape than them.
Yep.
That's garbage. Fucking garbage. Cancel, delete. That shit's gone. Hey, motherfucker. This is real. She's rooting for you. She actually wants you to do it. And so what they're doing is they're pushing up against you because most guys, actually the psychology of getting your wife to really want to fuck you, there's a deep, deep piece of it where she has to actually believe you're fucking somebody else. Because that was the mechanism back when you were single, is you had other options. You weren't a caged fucking lion, so to speak.
Yeah.
There was other options. So she had to be her best to be able to get you. And then she got you. And now you stop being that guy. And now she's like, what the fuck? And she knows nobody else is going to have sex with this dude. Why the fuck am I settling to have sex with this dude? And so it's this downward spiral that no guy's willing to admit is really happening. And it all fucking started when and she's testing you.
Yeah.
She wants to see. People test what they want to trust. And if you pass the test, the trust goes up. Well, what the fuck happens when the trust goes up? The lust goes up.
Yeah. I love
so now
your
she
one-liners,
goes,
man.
oh. And so I call it being a redwood. Being a redwood tree that they go, oh, I'm going to push against that. No, you ain't. And then she can now dance in the shade of your branches, motherfucker, and let her feminine out. Of course, she can start scratching your back and saying, fucking eat my pussy and all the good stuff that we guys love hearing, because she can be free because this motherfucker's got me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
She doesn't want you slapping her ass and pulling her hair and all that stuff when you're just some beta guy that's like, hey, do you want to maybe come? I never do shit. I never fucking keep my word. I say I'm going to go to the gym and I still show up as a fat fuck. That's not attractive. So here's what happens. The fat fucks in every area of their life, their dials are just down. They want what a guy that's dialed up has. They want it. Well, you don't get to want that anymore unless you actually become that guy. That's the whole process of married game, is becoming the guy, becoming a provocateur, taking this bullshit caterpillar life.
Yep.
And we're going to throw you through the darkness of self-respect, self-inspection, and being around a crew of other people that have a high fucking set of standards. And you either fucking coming out a butterfly or you go back to caterpillar land, bitch. We don't got time for that shit around here. And your wife deserves better. And so do your fucking kids. And you're fucking pathetic. So stop wanting. You don't get to have a wife that wants to fuck you in the back of the Escalade unless you become the guy that is that guy.
I'm fired up right now, bro. I fucking love this, bro. Like, I would definitely want to hang out with you more. This is, I'm fired up. I'm fired up. You know, like, I'm very much empathetic, but we also got like in our program, I call people out, and that's just it. Like, you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to also be witnessed, and for other people to show their, hey, this is what I see in you, man. You need to fucking level up. I love it.
Exactly.
Dude, this is amazing. All right, producer, pretty self-explanatory, but let's unpack.
Let's unpack it. This is the one. This is the smallest dial in terms of like guys get it, but guys don't get it. There's two things that guys say that 100 out of 100 say, and 99 out of 100 are full of shit. You like this shit because you love truth. You're a fucking lover of truth like I am.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. They say, my word is my bond. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yep.
You can't even fucking show up on time, you dumb. And or at least tell somebody I'm going to be late, like I did with you this morning.
I was gonna say I was gonna call you out, Keith.
Yep. But I'm going to be late, and there's a host of reasons why, but I'm going to be late. I just want you to know so that I honor your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do what you say. Most men don't. And then they say, my family is my most important thing. No, it's not. Here's how I know it's not. Real simple. let's open up your checkbook real fast.
Mm.
Show me the line item in your budget where you spend on developing yourself and learning skills, attitudes, mindsets, becoming a better husband and better father. Show me that line item. I want to see that real fast.
Oh.
Oh, not there. Show me your fucking food and entertainment line of where you're going out and watching football with the guys and fucking eating stuff at Chili's and acting like a fucking dum-dum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a big fucking number.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're full of shit.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to get fucked every other day. You don't deserve to have your wife send you naked pictures of her because she can't wait for you to get home. You don't deserve that, motherfucker. You haven't invested. So you do not get a return. We call it the ROI, is the return of intimacy. You want return of intimacy? Let's start making some fucking deposits.
Yeah.
Let's start making some fucking deposits. And that's the system that we use, credits and debits. I used to be really broke, okay? I didn't grow up with all this stuff, nothing.
Yep.
And I remember a time back when I was a kid where I'd walk up to the ATM and like, I don't know if I can pull out 40 or 60 bucks out of this ATM. And there's that feeling in your stomach. You ever felt that before?
Oh, bro. Like,
okay.
talking.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So that same feeling
Yep.
is the same feeling guys get when they ask their wife for sex.
Yeah.
You know why? There ain't no fucking deposits, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if you can pull. I don't know. Will she give it to me? I don't know, bro. I got overflowing deposits into this fucking account.
Yep.
That when I want to go take, I don't check the balance. The balance? Are you kidding me, dude? I couldn't fuck my way through that balance if I tried.
Yep.
And so that is the concept of. Now, it doesn't mean that every time I ask for sex, Jessie goes, "Oh my God, yeah, hold on, and comes out in her porn star fucking moves. No, that's not it at all. And to have those big deposits, most people think you have to make these big fucking deposits at once. No, I'm a fucking $1 a day, dude. I've been $1 a day for fucking ever. And it's been compounding and compounding. The little shit I do, like the best friend dial, the partner dial, I just got to do one little thing for her. So I make her green shake every day, one day. Every single day, there's one little action that takes me 42 seconds.
Yep.
Make her green drink and have it ready for her. And it just shows us we're in it together. Let's go kick some fucking ass. Let's go kick some fucking ass today, dude. Here's your green drink and here's your fucking pre-workout and here's your fucking vital protein collagens. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I get up at 4. I make it for her. By the time she rolls out of bed at 6 or 6:30, it's there. Or sometimes I sneak in and put it on her little fucking bedstand and she wakes up and it's there. But it's this little thing. So my big heaping fucking deposits were not home runs. They were single after single after single after single. This is why I do the points every single day.
Yes. That is all. Like literally, if you just hit singles, you're going to make runs. You just like stop going for the home run. You're going to strike out. Singles. Get on base. Like
I don't get nervous. I don't get nervous to ask my wife for sex.
Yeah.
Why would I get nervous?
Now, I know we're about to go into the player realm, but like one of the questions to kind of piggyback off of that is that still part of the process for you and your wife? Like, do you still verbally bring it up? Because in my mind, like when my wife and I were first like kind of relating in a relationship, I didn't ask. I would use body language. I would use tone or touch or kiss. I would use all nonverbal. And now it's sort of like, again, we got 3 kids and when they're young, you know what the drill is, man. It's like, it's a little bit different. Now it's like, okay, we got to use a little bit more verbal. We got to actually plan this thing out. What do we got to do to get there? What's your take on that? Like nonverbal versus verbal?
All of it.
Okay.
All of it. Some nights we're just looking at each other and like, you do the thing and you're like, yeah, it's on. Yeah. Other days it's like, hey man, we schedule sex all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
We schedule, and here's why. Here's why. People go, dude, is it as good when you schedule? I go, I don't know. You ever fucking got a reservation at your favorite restaurant? Chef comes out and goes, how's the steak? You're like, I don't know, dude. I had to plan and prepare and schedule it. So I don't know. It doesn't taste as good as unless it was spontaneous. Yeah. What the fuck what are you talking about? You're crazy. Yeah. Of course I schedule it. And you know why we schedule it? So I can pull out my phone. And I can go, oh, okay. Let's send some fun, flirty emojis and let's get the anticipation ramped up.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve is better than Christmas afternoon.
Yeah. Truth. Dopamine.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
The flirtiness. The, oh my God. Dude, that's the shit that makes it powerful. So sometimes it's just like, I ask covert because that's their language. But sometimes it's like, hey, you want to go upstairs and fuck? Let's go. Sometimes it's like, hey, what are you doing later tonight? You gonna be busy?
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I'll be like, hey, how many days has it been? She's like, oh, it's been 2 days. Something like that. What?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of different. And now we know our rhythm and our thing.
Yeah.
So probably over the course of 100 times we have sex, it might be 30 different ways we do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And we have a concept that we teach the women, and it's never rejection, always rain check.
Okay.
So Jessie never rejects me, but she will say, "Hey, not tonight." Like last night, I said, "Hey, what do you want tonight? Like, can we do it in the morning?" Perfect.
Yes. That actually does a lot, I will say, for the masculine psyche, because then they don't feel like they're completely rejected, and then they like go into that tailspin. It still gives them the knowing that they are appreciated, that they are wanted, and then they can be like, oh, okay, like maybe I'll go work out, instead of like dark side would be like, well, I'm gonna go watch porn then, fuck you. And you go beat off, and then you come back, and but then you lose connection because now you're not showing up as your greatest self because you already lost your life force.
Yeah, and your hunger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just fucking ate at Taco Bell, dude. You don't give a fuck if fucking there's anything at home. You just ate.
Exactly.
You got a drained ball sack, dude. You're kind of not as compliant. Okay, let's get to these last two dials. I gotta go have lunch with my best friend here in 20 minutes, and it's 8 minutes down the road. So we got 12 minutes to fucking bring this puppy home.
All right, bro. Bring me home. Give me the player and give me the power.
The player dial is really simple, man. To quote the great American poet, Cyndi Lauper, she said, girls just want to have fun. Most guys have stopped having fun in their relationship. They're super serious, and we need to talk about sex. And she's like, hey, dude, can you pull the broomstick that you broke off up in your ass? Can you pull that thing out? I wanted the fun guy. Remember when going to the store when you first were dating was a date to get Sudafed because one of you had a sinus relief that you needed? Like, remember when that was a date? And now just going on a date, it's like, oh my God, I got to... Dude, it's bringing back that fun energy. A player, the reason I call it the player dog, because I want them to think about the guy that's the ladies' man.
Yeah.
You got to become a ladies' man if you want your lady to fucking want you like a ladies' man.
Yeah.
I'm saying. So you need to get in shape. She's got to look at your arms and go, man, what would it be like to be wrapped up in those motherfucking fucking pythons?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll be lucky enough to find out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clothes that fit you. Smelling good, brushing your teeth, having a little bit of cologne, having some swagger and confidence and being playful, taking her out on dates. This is where most guys break down. They stop dating their wife.
Yes. Truth.
And let me tell you what I think the level should be, the standard. If a guy's like, I'll date my wife, and this happens, I'll ask a guy. I usually start here. Hey, man, when's the last time you went on a date? I don't know, like 6 weeks ago. I go, 6 or, okay, 12. I go, okay, that's what I thought. What'd you do? What'd you go? Where'd you go? What'd you do? Well, we went down to Home Depot to pick up some parts for the house, and then we swang through Chick-fil-A, and you got something to head home. Good night. And I'm like, okay, Casanova, this is why you're not getting more ass than a toilet seat. Because your dating life fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. And here's the standard. Everybody listening, all 17 million of you, I want you to fucking lean in, and I want you to write this fucking down. We have 17 million people that watch our show too. So between your show and my show, it's going to be 34 million. We're going to fucking crush this thing.
I'm in.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, here's the deal. If you are instantly single right now, boom, single today.
Yep.
And the hot chick from high school that you really wanted to bang showed up in your DMs. For me, it was Kristen Bennett, cheerleading captain. Sat next to her in algebra. She let me cheat off her test, but she wouldn't fucking let me kiss her. She shows up. and goes, oh my God, life looks like it's been treating you well. We should catch up. Code word for let's date and possibly fuck. And you go, hell yeah, it's a date. I'll pick you up at such and such time. Sounds good. See you then. How would you show up to that date? What would you would put thought and effort and planning into that date. You wouldn't be wearing your dad's 3X sport coat and fucking pleated khakis and leather tassel shoes. No, you'd look like a fucking G, dude. You'd want to walk in there. You'd be doing your 20 push-ups. You'd be, hey, I'm going to go here. Then I'm going to go here. The punchline is you'd be giving a tremendous amount of effort.
Yeah.
Why? Because you want to get laid.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just want to get laid, but you don't want to put in any effort.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the standard, now you don't have to go above and beyond on every fucking date. Jesse and I don't go above and beyond on every date, but there's thoughtfulness put into it.
Yep.
They want to know that you're thinking because they understand that your attention is so fucking valuable. But time is not your greatest asset. Energy is. Because if you had all the time in the world and no energy to enjoy it, what the fuck is worth the time? Ain't worth shit.
Mm-hmm. True.
So if you're putting, and attention is just focus energy.
Yep.
I'm going to do this for her. I'm going to do this for her. I'm going to do this for her. My wife drove off today for her birthday, called me, and she goes, hey, I just want you to know I feel like a really fucking special human being today. You knocked it out of the park. And it's not that I did anything big and expensive.
Yep.
It was thoughtful. I got her a band tee for Def Leppard because on our very first date when I flew her to Boston, when the Pour Some Sugar on Me song came out, she goes, that's my stripper song. I said, she's a fucking keeper. She's a keeper. Every girl has a stripper song, and a lot of them is Pour Some Sugar on Me. So I bought her a Def Leppard shirt. And then I got her these little simple rings, nothing more than $100 that I know she likes. She's always talking about, I like this, I like this. And like, I just went, it was thoughtful. I just went and got them, picked them out. I did buy her a new cat that she's been dying to have, and it's really expensive and it's crazy. But that, other than that, that's not the point. It was the thoughtfulness of today. There was a balloon for her.
Yeah.
It's the small shit, man. So the player thinks through that. He writes little notes. He sends her, hey, I was thinking about you today. I just want you to know it made me smile.
Yep.
This doesn't cost anything but your energy. And the player has energy. My family has never heard me say I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Same way my clients have never heard me say I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to show up. Just so you know, bro, like Dr. Dave, we're going to have a really fucking shitty podcast just for one reason. I'm a little fucking tired today, but let's see what happens.
Yep.
Said no fucking elite man ever.
Truth. The gig is energy. I mean, that's, I teach that fundamental as well. Everything is energy. Literally your social well-being is energy. It's all energy. Right? I can tell you're in the vibe too, man. You get it. I love it.
100%, dude. All right. So the player dial is you need to start dating your wife again and showing up. And
I want to add, like, I know you got to go, but I want to add just like one thing. And you hit the nail on the head with the parent dial. I would even add, help them be who they want to be in this, right? Like I bought my wife a really nice dress that like fit her body really well for Mother's Day. It was beautiful sundress. And she was like, ooh, this is like, and she put it on and she like showed it off for me. I was like, yeah, I did well.
It's that stuff.
Yeah.
That's the, because it's like best friend, like, you're listening. I know my wife loves band tees. For her birthday, her best friend sent her a band tee and she's like, you gotta believe it. Isn't that so cute? I'm like, yeah, fucking noted.
Yeah.
Noted, baby. Don't you fret. Fucking, I got you. Fucking Redwoods got you. Okay. Yep. Power dial. This one's the biggest one, dude. This is where guys fucking eat dicks all day and they don't even know it. And it's this. They're validation seeking. They fall into what we call the mom matrix. The mom matrix is when you're doing stuff to look for a cookie or a nookie or a gold star. Hey, did you see me do this? Aren't I so special? I washed one dish one time a month. Like fucking all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we ask some questions. To stand in your power, you've got to do what you say you're going to do without fault. That's if a man would learn that principle for the rest of his life, that one principle alone will change his life forever. It's changed mine forever. And I just learned it a little over 2 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Like really learned it. That's why my business is blowing up. That's why my friends respect the fuck out of me. It's why damn near any fucking influencer you think that could be going through marital problem or don't trust in me secretly. They all call me. I talk with all of them. They come to the man cave. All of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
Because I do what I say I'm going to do. when I say I'm going to do it without fault.
That 100%. I
That's
absolutely
it.
agree with you. Mm-hmm. It's
Now,
integrity.
now, there's some other questions that we ask, and they're like, did you do your personal development for yourself or for her? And did you get butthurt if she didn't notice?
Yeah.
These are warning dashes on the sign. Hey, if you got butthurt because you didn't notice, it's like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
you're seeking validation.
Yeah.
The other thing is, do you not initiate out of fear of rejection?
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're rejected, do you act like a pouty little bitch? Do you go all passive aggressive? Well, maybe if I got laid around here more than I would. It's like, oh, stop it. You fucking stop it. Knock that shit off. You're a grown ass man. You need to learn better. Okay. Another question is, are you seeking or asking permission for things that you shouldn't?
That is, I almost like want to flip this table right now and just be like, I think so many men seek permission and they have no fucking clue that they're doing it. Like how many discovery calls I have with men and then they go, let me ask my wife. And I'm like, like, and I will raise my hand and be like, okay, I can get better in my sales process and when I'm doing discovery call. But like, how many men? I was like, let me go ask my wife. Now, of course, like when there's schedules involved in these things, like, yeah, you got to like break it off. But you need to be able to make big boy decisions for yourself.
Yeah, it's I'm looking for alignment, not for permission.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with the boys this Friday night. Do we have anything planned that I don't know of? If you're not going to be there, do I need to find a sitter? It's two best friends. The thing about marriage people forget is it's roommate and soulmate.
Yeah.
You got to be a good roommate too, man. The other one is the other last question that we ask is, did you edit or audit your shine so as not to upset her?
Ooh. So in another way to say it, did you stifle your light?
Yeah.
Are you putting yourself down, right? Like, could you be more?
Are you not telling her your real opinion because you don't want to upset the apple cart because she throws you one little crumb of pussy a month and you don't even want that taken away?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I agree with that. I went through a very transformative experience and we get to have this for a whole nother podcast. But when I came home, I was full open, heart open, wide. I was like shirt off, dancing in the backyard. I am me. And my wife really took offense to that. Like she thought I was in full cut psychosis. Like we could talk about psychedelics all day, but it was after a psychedelic experience. And
Yeah.
I came home and I was alive for the first time. I was fully me. And that is such a true statement because that happens not even just in relationship, that happens in life. Just being you. Like, can you be unapologetically your authentic self everywhere you go, no matter what? That's the gig.
That's right, man. And that's a man who stands in his power.
Yes. Yes.
And these are just questions you can ask to see if you're standing in your power. Did you edit out of your shine? Shit, I did. Okay, cool. Then you're not in your power.
Yeah.
Now rather than judge ourselves for not being in our power, let's get curious why you're not. Let's get curious. Okay. Why are you so upset? Why won't you share your truth with her? Well, because if she doesn't believe it, then she'll want to, and we start to get down to you're super angry, but angry comes from either being hurt or being afraid. So let's figure out what the fuck you're afraid of, or let's figure out what hurts you. And let's be honest about what hurts you, and let's be honest about what you're afraid of, so we can fucking figure out how to get over it.
Yes. Yes.
And become a provocateur, motherfucker. Are you a good dad? Are you a good fucking partner, best friend? Are you producing? Are you bringing home the buffalo? Are you fucking playful in your marriage? Do you have fun? Do you do fun shit? Does anybody want to fucking be around you?
Right.
And do you stand in your power? These are archetypes. You're 100% right. But these are the archetypes that people go, I want to be around that.
Yes.
That's a warm fucking fire that I don't want to leave. Be a warm fucking fire that people don't want to leave. It's why, dude, I got strategic partners that go, I don't fucking partner with anybody, and I love partnering with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because I'm a fucking giver.
Yeah.
I asked this one simple question. What would make working with me a 10 out of 10 for you? And let me see if I can make that happen. Let me see if I can make that happen. If I can make that happen, just tell me what it is, though. Tell me what a 10 out of 10 looks like for you.
Yes.
Let's fucking go. If I can make it happen, I want to fucking be your biggest cheerleader and biggest fan, and I want you to be mine.
I love that. That is big king energy, man. That is you become the tree of life for others because you are that live oak. You are that redwood that is literally deep roots into the earth. You are creating shade and acorns for the squirrels. You are literally creating life from which you are producing. You are that which you are saying. which is your
I'm a
integrity.
creator.
You're a creator. Absolutely.
I was created to create, period.
Yeah, that's true masculine essence. That is true masculine expression. And that is,
This is why hundreds of women wanted to fuck me.
yeah.
And when my wife absolutely loves me, and my best friends would probably fucking die or kill for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you are that.
And I would do the same for those people.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. Dude, if they want to learn more, they can go to marriedgame.com or they can go to keithyackey.com and see all the crazy shit I'm doing. I got a lot of interesting things I do. They're all to help men become a better version of themselves so they can get paid more and they can get laid more.
I love that, man. I mean, to add to that, I've been following you on Instagram here for a little bit, and I love what you got going on, and that's why I'm so honored to have you on the show. And man, if you guys are looking to create more intimacy, more sex, and like you said, get paid and get laid in your marriage, reach out to Keith, man. This has been really powerful. I appreciate you, Keith. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. If you found this episode valuable, then go ahead and leave a 5-star review explaining how this podcast has helped you so more people can find it. If you want to be a part of the Brotherhood, then click the link in the description below. You can also check out the Unbreakable Man experience if you're ready to face a deeper challenge and change your life for the better in just 3 days. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. I appreciate you. And as always, stay unbreakable.